Did you know that Joe Rogan, through his podcast, has an audience of literally millions, and he talks about supplements a lot?
Oh, he absolutely does. And look, his influence on health and wellness conversations is undeniable. He's got this whole biohacking vibe, always pushing for optimization, and supplements are a huge part of that narrative.
Right? You hear him and his guests talking about feeling amazing, having incredible focus, or boosting performance with everything from exotic mushrooms to nootropics. It sounds really compelling.
It is compelling, he's a charismatic guy, and he makes it sound like these are the keys to unlocking your peak human potential. But what we want to dig into today is, does the science actually back up all these claims? Because when you peel back the layers, it often doesn't.
So you're saying it's not quite as straightforward as take this pill, feel better?
Exactly. One of the biggest issues is how he or some of his guests present scientific evidence. They might cite studies, but often those studies are preliminary, maybe done in a petri dish or on animals, or they're very small human trials.
And the leap from a petri dish to a human being's brain function is significant, I imagine.
Oh, it's a Grand Canyon-sized leap. What works in a lab setting or in a mouse model often doesn't translate directly to complex human physiology. And even if a human study exists, you have to look at its quality. How many people were involved? Was it double-blind, placebo-controlled? Who funded it? These are critical questions often glossed over.
So it's not just about a study existing, but the quality of that study. And how often do you think the studies Rogan references meet that high bar?
Frankly, not as often as you'd hope for the level of enthusiasm generated. Sometimes a study might show a minor effect in a very specific population, say someone with a diagnosed deficiency, and it gets extrapolated to mean it's a universal cognitive enhancer for healthy individuals. That's a huge misinterpretation.
That makes sense. It's like finding out a specific nutrient helps someone who's malnourished and then recommending it to everyone as a super supplement.
Precisely. And then there's the incredibly powerful placebo effect. If you believe something will make you feel better, more focused, or stronger, there's a good chance you will feel some of those things regardless of the active ingredients. Rogan rarely, if ever, acknowledges the placebo effect as a significant factor in his or his guests' experiences.
Which brings us to another huge point, the reliance on anecdotal evidence. Rogan often says, I feel great when I take X, or my friend noticed a huge difference with Y.
Ah, the I feel great argument. It's so compelling because it's personal and relatable. We all trust our own experiences. But here's the thing, while your personal experience is valid for you, it is not scientific evidence that a supplement works for everyone or even for anyone else.
Why not? If someone genuinely feels better, isn't that proof enough?
Because there are so many confounding factors at play. When someone starts taking a new supplement, they often make other lifestyle changes too. Maybe they're also exercising more, eating healthier, getting more sleep, or generally paying more attention to their well-being. How do you isolate the effect of just the supplement from all those other positive changes? You can't without a controlled study.
So it could be that the whole package of healthy habits is making them feel great, not necessarily the specific pill they're taking.
Exactly. And without a control group, people who aren't taking the supplement but are making similar lifestyle changes, it's impossible to truly know if the supplement itself is doing anything unique. Anecdotes are powerful stories, but they're not data for generalizable conclusions.
This leads us to something I think is a pretty glaring issue. Joe Rogan's direct financial stake in the supplement industry. He's a co-founder and major promoter of Own It, a company that sells a ton of supplements, including the famous Alpha Brain.
This is where it gets particularly murky, and it's a huge conflict of interest. When Rogan talks about how amazing Alpha Brain is for his focus or how much he loves shroom tech sport for performance, he stands to directly benefit financially from every single listener who goes out and buys those products.
And does he always fully disclose that conflict of interest in every discussion?
Not in a way that truly highlights the magnitude of his financial involvement. He might mention on it, but it often comes across as a casual endorsement, rather than a clear, I'm selling this product and I profit from it. This lack of transparent disclosure means listeners might not realize they're essentially listening to an advertisement.
So he's essentially marketing his own products under the guise of an open-ended health discussion. That creates a significant bias.
Absolutely. It means positive aspects of his products are emphasized, while any lack of robust evidence, potential side effects, or questions about their efficacy are conveniently downplayed or ignored. It's a powerful marketing strategy, but it's not a neutral scientific discussion.
Another point I've heard brought up about supplements in general is the regulatory aspect, or perhaps the lack of rigorous regulation.
You hit the nail on the head, Alex. This is a critical piece of the puzzle that Rogan rarely, if ever, delves into. Unlike pharmaceutical drugs, dietary supplements do not require FDA approval for safety and efficacy before they are sold to the public.
Wait, so they can just put anything on the market?
Essentially, yes. This stems from the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, or DSHEA. Under DSHEA, manufacturers are responsible for ensuring their products are safe and that their claims are truthful, but the FDA primarily steps in after issues arise, after a product has already caused harm or been found to be mislabeled. It's a reactive system, not a proactive one.
That's really concerning. What are the practical implications of that limited oversight?
Huge implications. It means you can have products that contain incorrect dosages, harmful contaminants, or even undeclared ingredients, including prescription drugs. There have been countless cases of supplements being spiked with actual pharmaceuticals to make them seem more effective, leading to serious health risks, or, just as commonly, products that contain none of the active ingredients they claim, or far less than advertised. You simply don't always know what you're getting.
So it's not just about whether they work, but whether they're even safe or what they claim to be. And I doubt Rogan is regularly advising people to consult their doctor before trying these things.
Exactly. And that's a massive oversight. Supplements can interact negatively with prescription medications, they can exacerbate existing health conditions, and they can cause side effects. Comprehensive warnings and advice to consult healthcare professionals are almost entirely absent from these discussions.
It sounds like a Wild West scenario where consumers are left to fend for themselves.
In many ways, it is. And this environment, combined with the enthusiastic promotion, often fosters what I call a magic bullet mentality.
The idea that there's a pill for every ill, a shortcut to optimal health.
Precisely. While Rogan does, to his credit, often discuss foundational health aspects like intense exercise and good diet, his enthusiastic promotion of a vast array of supplements can inadvertently make people think that these biohacks are the primary drivers of health. Distracting from the basics, you mean? Yes, for the vast majority of healthy individuals, significant improvements in health and performance come from optimizing the fundamentals. Consistent exercise, a balanced diet rich in whole foods, adequate and quality sleep, and effective stress management. Supplements, at best, play a very minor supportive role if they're even needed. They are not a replacement for these core habits.
So, if you're not doing the basics right, popping a bunch of pills probably won't do much good, or at least not as much as fixing the fundamentals.
Precisely. It can be a distraction from what truly moves the needle. Let's take Alpha Brain, for example, since it's one of Rogan's most prominent recommendations. It's promoted as a cognitive enhancer.
What does the science actually say about Alpha Brain?
The studies on Alpha Brain's efficacy are frequently criticized. They're often small, funded by Onnit itself, another conflict of interest, and show only marginal or inconclusive results. Any perceived benefits are highly likely to be a result of the placebo effect or other lifestyle changes. There's no robust independent evidence demonstrating it provides significant real-world cognitive improvement for healthy people.
What about some of the other things he's big on, like mushroom supplements, lion's mane, or cordyceps?
Similar story, while there's some interesting preliminary research, often from traditional uses or animal models, robust human clinical trials confirming significant cognitive immune boosting or energy enhancing benefits in healthy populations are largely absent or very limited. The hype far outstrips the evidence, and the anti-aging stuff like NAD plus boosters. Fascinating science on NAD plus pathways, absolutely. But human data showing clear anti-aging benefits or significant health improvements from supplemental NMN or NR are still very much in the early stages. It's not conclusive for general population use, and the long-term effects are largely unknown. It's a great example of taking promising early research and marketing it as a proven solution far too soon.
So, when we look at the broader implications of Rogan's approach to supplements, what are the biggest concerns?
Well, first, there's the sheer scale of public health misinformation. His enormous reach means that unchecked or exaggerated claims can lead millions of listeners to make ineffective or even harmful purchasing decisions. They're spending money on products that might do nothing or worse, cause adverse effects, diverting resources from more beneficial health interventions.
So, it's not just a waste of money, but potentially harmful, and it takes away from things that would actually work.
Exactly. And it also contributes to an erosion of scientific literacy by prioritizing compelling anecdotes and personal testimonies over rigorous scientific consensus. It can inadvertently foster a general distrust of established scientific methods and expert advice. It teaches people to prioritize what feels right over what is proven.
Which is a dangerous path, especially when it comes to health.
Absolutely. So, before you buy into the hype around the latest biohack from the podcast, ask yourself a few critical questions. Where's the robust human evidence? Has this been independently verified, or is it just a compelling story? And most importantly, am I covering my foundational health habits first?
Great advice. It sounds like the overall takeaway is to be highly skeptical, prioritize proven fundamentals, and always consult a healthcare professional.
100%. Supplements are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they thrive on marketing and compelling stories. Our health is too important to leave to bro science and anecdotal evidence.